I'm guessing that you already know that branding is important. You've got a tagline, your website looks great, you're creating kick-ass content that shares your work with the world. But how do you take your brand to the next level? One of the best ways you can do that is with a kick-ass customer experience that wows your audience every damn time. And in this episode, we're going to go through the ultimate guide to making it happen. Hello and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into something that people know and love you for. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand coach for creatives, and I'm on a mission to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. If you're ready to get more eyes on your work, more dollars in your pocket, and more creativity in your life, you're in the right place. Welcome. Let's brand your passion. You might not think about it, but experience is a huge part of your branding. A brand is what people think of when they think of you. That means the things that they remember, the encounters that come to mind, the times they met you, the times they went on your website and what happened. All of that stuff ties into what they think of you. So if their experience with your brand was above and beyond amazing, that's what's going to come to mind when they think of your business. This is the thing that's going to get people raving about you. This is what's going to keep them coming back. This is what's going to get them sharing on social media and telling all of their friends about you and your work. When you have a consistent brand experience that wows your customers, you're going to have more and more raving fans, loyal customers, and avid advocates before you know it. So how do we create a consistent experience that wows those customers? Well, I'm going to tell you. First, you need to do a little bit of work to know who you are and who your audience are so that you can take those into account as we go through the next steps. Because when you know who your ideal customer is and what you want to come across as, you're going to create an experience that's consistent with your brand and that's custom made for those ideal customers. So before you step into the next steps of the client customer experience stuff, maybe go back and listen to past episodes or check out some past resources that I will list in the show notes to help you figure out who you are and who you want to reach and who your ideal people are. When you've done that, you can come back to this episode. Welcome back if you're joining us again. The first step that you can take in creating this wow-worthy customer experience is to list out literally every step a customer takes to purchase your products, including how they find them, how they buy them, how they receive them, and how they can review them, etc. For example, when they are looking at your products on your website, browsing your products, they're going to land on your homepage. They're going to click on the shop section. They're going to browse all of the items. They're going to click through to an individual item. They're going to look at their item's information. They're going to add it to their cart. They're going to choose which variety they want to get. They're going to go to their cart and then they're going to purchase that item, right? So that's a lot of steps, but you want to list out literally everything. Literally every step in that process, because we are going to take every single one of those steps to the next level to make it amazing. When you have listed out every step that you want a customer to take, or that the customer does take, and it doesn't also just have to be in buying your products. It could be seeing you at a market, or browsing your social media, finding you online. It could be reading your blog. It could be watching your YouTube videos, joining your Patreon, signing up to pay you on your coffee thing where they can donate money to you. So think about every way that somebody might engage with you and every single step that they're going to go through during that process. The next thing you're going to do is decide how you want your customers to feel at each of those steps. For example, when they've just purchased an item, you might want them to feel excited, appreciated, and assured that you've got their order. So they feel like, man, I really just made a difference to this person's life. I'm super pumped to get my item, and I feel really comfortable and safe knowing that they've got my order and it's confirmed and I know it's going to come through. When you have done that, you're going to do an audit of each step. ask yourself questions like, okay, what is the experience like now? And you might have to go and do that experience yourself. Go add an item to your cart on your website and see what that experience is like. Is it frustrating? Is anything broken? Does it not work? Does it feel rubbish? Is it like unclear if your order has gone through? You might need to go through this process yourself to understand what the experience is like now. Ask yourself, does it match how I want them to feel? Taking into account who they are and what you want your brand to come across like, right? So, does it match how I want them to feel? How could it be improved? Are there practical things I could do to make this a better experience or a more on brand experience? And then lastly, how on brand is it? Is the copy on brand? Does it look visually on brand? Does the vibe feel right? So that is like the audit you need to do of every step. What is the experience like? Does it match how I want them to feel? How could it be improved? And how on brand is it? Now you're going to make a plan for improving each step. So think about what actions you can take to make each step more wow worthy. Doesn't have to mean adding 1,000,001 special features and confetti exploding everywhere or overcomplicating things or adding treats into all your packages. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be a simple tweak to the thank you message or adding a reminder here so that they feel more comfortable knowing that something's happening, or making a step slightly easier, or removing a step so they don't have to do that. It's just these little things that will make the customer and the client experience so much better. And don't forget to keep your brand strategy in mind as you're thinking about how you can improve each step. How can I infuse my brand voice more here? How can I stick to my visual direction and make sure it feels visually on brand? How can I make it feel more authentic to me? That is what you're going to do, is to make a plan, and then you're going to do those things. So like, okay, I've decided that on my thank you page, I'm going to tweak the messaging, and then I'm going to record a GIF of myself smiling and making a heart with my hands so that they know I'm super thankful. And then I'm going to send them a confirmation email that's really clear about what's happening. Whatever. I'm not saying you have to like make a GIF and do all that. Whatever. Choose whatever's going to work for you and then do those things. So assign them to yourself as tasks, make them happen, see what you can do one thing at a time to improve this process. Now, I've made a Notion, handy dandy Notion template that you can check out via the link in the show notes that will help you do this. So it's set up to let you list all the different steps, see how on brand they are, see what status they are in terms of whether you've improved them or not, and all of that stuff. So if you want to go through this process, head to the link in the show notes and download that template, and you can work through it one step at a time. And that's it. That is the process. You're going to list out all the steps in your customer process. You're going to decide how you want people to feel at each of those steps. You're going to do an audit of each of those steps, and then you're going to make a plan for how to improve each step, and then you're going to do it. Okay? So it sounds pretty simple. It is pretty simple. It just might take some time to make all those little changes, but they will be so worth it. And it definitely doesn't mean you have to make all the changes right now. Each little change that you make will make a difference incrementally, accumulatively over time. So just do a little bit here and there, make one change a week or one change a fortnight or whatever is going to work for you. Just do one bit at a time, or delegate it to someone else. If you're like, cool, my assistant is going to do this, or whoever is going to help me to set up this and make all these little changes. So feel free to delegate. Feel free to make a plan and a timeline for yourself that works and make it happen. Now, I've got a couple of questions from the listeners to answer about this episode. So thank you to everybody who contributed, and a reminder that if you want to get involved with the episodes and ask your own questions, then make sure you're following me at Maker and Moxie on Instagram to get the prompts, and I will answer your questions for next time. So this question is from Amira. What are the important areas to focus on in this if you are an artist? A couple of ways to think about this. The main kind of areas of your business to focus on are the places that people engage the most with your brand. So maybe it's like commenting on social media, joining your Patreon, visiting you at a market, buying your products online. Focus on the ones that are the most relevant to you and your audience. So, you might not sell your products online, so you don't have to worry about that. You might have a Patreon, so that's where you make the most of your money. That's where you interact with your customers the most. So that's where the biggest impact is going to be. So focus on what has the highest impact for you and your audience. And then when it comes to like the areas of the customer experience to focus on, I guess, the main areas are communication, user experience, and visuals. So communication is like, how do you communicate with your customers in real life, online, or in automated settings? So things like what the email says when you're confirming their order, or how you reply to them on social media, or how they can get in touch with you if they have a question. Those parts of the customer or the brand experience are all about communication. So it's about like the copy that you use, the brand voice, the language, all of that stuff is about the communication. The user experience is like how easy or simple or streamlined it is to take an action. So how easy is it for them to buy something? How easy is it for them to contact you? How easy is it for them to like give you money through Ko-fi, I can never say that, or join your Patreon, etc. So that's about removing friction, making sure things feel like they work, making sure they're really easy to do, and just making the user experience really good. And then also visually, so in terms of making things on brand, you want to think about how you show up visually everywhere. On social media, on your website, emails, packaging. You want them to recognize your brand, feel like it looks legit, and they know that it's you, and they feel excited and assured and can't wait to buy your stuff or engage with you more. So those are the main places that I would focus on as an artist. In terms of which parts of your business to focus on is the ones that have the most impact. And then in those places, focus on your communication, your user experience, and your visuals. And I hope that answered your question, Amira. It was a great one, so thank you. And that's it. That is all the questions for this time. So thank you so much. Submit your questions via Instagram next time. And that's it for today. Hope this episode has been really helpful. Please let me know if you decide to start working on your brand experience and how you get on with the Notion template and everything. As a reminder, you can hit the link in the show notes to download a free Notion template that will help you to work through this process, plan out the different steps, and plan out how you're going to improve each one, so that you can create a wow-worthy, kick-ass customer experience that keeps people coming back, make sure they keep recommending you, and all of that good stuff. So, as always, hope you've enjoyed it, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Brand Your Passion and choosing to spend time with me learning all about branding, business, and all things creativity. You can find more episodes just like this one at makerandmoxie.com/podcast. If you like this one, you can tap that subscribe or follow button so that you're notified about each and every new episode. And if you've got a spare second, please leave a review on iTunes or wherever it is that you're listening to this podcast, because I would absolutely 100% love to hear from you. If there were some helpful goodies in this episode for you, it would mean the world to me as well if you could screenshot that podcast player right now, hop on over to Instagram or Twitter and tag us at Maker and Moxie. By subscribing, reviewing, and sharing, you're helping reach more creators just like you, so that together we can make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. We can't achieve this mission without you, so your support means the absolute world. I will talk to you in the next episode, but until then, keep creating.